Okay, you guys, we're just waiting for a few more people to come in here, and then we're going to take a look at this case that everybody wants me to look at. I literally haven't had time, but today I just sat quietly with myself and I started taking a look. So, Michelle, you can hear me okay over there? Everything is good? Okay, okay. All right. I'm going to take questions from followers only, just because I, you know, I don't want to have to deal with vetting everybody before they actually ask a question. So, I'm assuming if you're following me that you'll be nice and cordial and courteous and follow some sort of decorum. My name is Carla Barron. I am a psychic medium, but mostly I've been known for being a psychic profiler on various episodes of a show called Haunting Evidence on Court TV for a number of years, and then it was in syndication worldwide. And we worked on many high profile cases. I also did the pilot to Psychic Detectives, so I sort of kicked this whole thing off. Is this a real thing? Can psychics actually do this? And the first question out of everybody's mouth is, well, if you're so good at this, how come you haven't solved every single case or this or that? First of all, it's not about that. It's about actually just working with either immediate family or the authorities or both and coming up with information when they're stuck. When they're working on it nonstop and they're stuck. I don't know if that's the case here because when I took a look this afternoon and I connected with Nancy Guthrie, what's weird is that I actually have a client who has written testimonials on my website from someone named Nancy Guthrie. And I've read her for years and years. So I just, maybe that's why I was drawn to this in the first place. But I have a client by that name. So that was weird. But the second thing was I looked at this and there were too many, I don't know, it just seemed off. And usually that's when I start getting involved, is when something seems off, when something doesn't seem like it's a normal, accidental death or there's some sort of intrigue, there's some sort of mystery, and there's a cover up. That tends to be the type of case that gravitates my way. So when I look at these things, I know that there's tons of news about this. Honest to God, guys, when I'm not working, I'm watching like my Netflix or talking to the love of my life or something, other than working on case files. So forgive me if I haven't delved into this before today, but it's good because it's fresh information. And some of the things I was coming up with were, yes, I'm getting the word cover up. I don't know if it's law enforcement and or there's some sort of deal going on behind the scenes, but I was shown 3 times. I posted this before. I was shown 3 times, and I asked 3 times. I asked Nancy, I said, first of all, are you still alive? That's the first question that I'm usually asked by family members. And forgive me, Guthrie family and Savannah, for even looking at this without your permission. Like I normally get their permission or they invite me to work on it, but so many people are hammering at me to get on this case. So I'm just going to say what I see. If they still want to talk to me, of course it's free of charge. I don't charge for these things when I take them. When I have an official case file, all of that's for free as long as it takes. As long as it takes and I've got the time, I will do it. So part of what I saw was they cleared the family members and the friends, like the normal suspects you would think about. That flashed for me, and I looked at it again because she showed me who it was. She said she brought me, and I had to look. Actually, I had to look it up. Um, I literally saw the words brother-in-law or son-in-law, something in law. Okay, I had to look it up to see if there was such a. Um, and you're saying, oh, it's all over the news, and I would have seen it on Twitter. Honest to God, guys, I'm so busy. I don't have time to sit and sift through everybody's storylines. I just don't. Um, but yeah, I asked again, and she said it was about money. She said it was about bitterness, uh, being judged. Whoever this was felt they were being judged or profiled in some way, that there was some sort of issue with that. So I'm just going to say the person that dropped her off. And if he wants to come after me, that's fine. But I'm doing a psychic reading, so this is what I see, and I am seeing that there was some sort of an argument. There was a struggle. I do not believe that she is still alive, that Nancy is still alive. But that's just what I'm seeing right now. But I will look when you guys ask me the question because I want to anchor it with each one of you that asks a question. So I will look at that again and again because I don't like making that statement without checking it a million times. But at first glance, I don't think so. I usually sense right up front if they're alive or they're not. That's the first question I get from law enforcement when they invite me in on a case. Is the victim alive? Is the victim dead? I also saw something about a cave. I don't know what kind of cave structures are around that area. I believe it was around Tucson. I don't know if there are caves in that area, but I am seeing a cave-like structure. Okay, that's the other clue that came in. I saw this very fast. It's sort of the details will come in lightning fast, and then I have to slow everything down in order to pretty much solidify what I'm seeing. So I slow it down long enough where I can get a good grasp, and I see a cave. Okay, so this could be a landmark. This could be where she is right now. I do though get that there was, it was very chaotic. It was a struggle. It was planned. This was premeditated. That's one thing that I did pick up, that there was some sort of plan in place. I get two men though, not only the son-in-law, but I also get somebody else that agreed for a certain fee to do this with him to help him. Um, I don't feel it, it was almost like some sort of threat was made against him. And we'll call the son-in-law, we'll just call him T. Okay, we'll use that initial T. I think some sort of threat was made in, I don't know, some random argument, possibly with his wife. And I get that a threat was made, oh, we'll send you back from where you came, or something like that. Some sort of threat where he felt like he was in danger of being deported or something. Um, I, eh, I'm going to look again. I'm going to look again because I'm very careful with these statements when I make them because number one, we're recording this. Number two, again, I'm not going to say this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not that kind of psychic, guys. This is real stuff here. I do this for a living. Okay. So I'm not going to give those kind of disclaimers, but I am going to say, look, I'm human. I look at, what I would look at if the family brought me in and we were doing a read and I was looking with the family. But I connected directly with Nancy. I mean, I went right to the source. And when I did that, I didn't feel that she was still here on this earth plane. I can usually tell when they are because there's like a desperateness in the breathing. When they finally connect with me, there's some sort of nervousness there. I didn't get that. And she was so angry that he turned on her like he did. I think they argued about some sort of statement that was made. It was like it was just said in anger during somebody having a fight, having an argument, and it was just a stupid statement that was made. Nobody really meant it, but he was very triggered by that statement. And I think that's when he just said, okay, I've had enough. I am not less than any one of you, and I've had enough. So instead of just leaving, I think this plan got hatched, and I think something happened. I think in the struggle, I am seeing that she got cut. Like she hit, I'm pretty sure she hit her head because I'm seeing like a head injury. I'm also seeing her arm. And I think she fought. I think she wasn't going quietly. I think she fought. I think originally that was the plan. They would just take her. And I think that this was someone else helping him out. I don't think he placed himself at the center of this situation. I think there was someone else waiting until they arrived. And then this someone else helped enact this entire kidnapping situation. I will triple check all of this with you guys when you ask me direct questions, and we'll see what we can see. That's the best I can do. If you want to ask a question, just go ahead and give me a request and I'll put you on, and just ask me the question very simply. Don't make it a 5-part question. Just ask a simple question and then we'll go to the next one if you have another one. Okay. So if you have a question about this case and you've been following along, and honestly, guys, I really haven't been following it. I see it all over the place and I see it trending, but I don't. And I saw her picture and I saw Savannah's picture, and I sort of know them from television work, but that's it. I That's all I knew about it, and I knew she was missing, and I knew that this has been going on for a while. So that's why I agreed to do this tonight, just to see what I could see about it. Does law enforcement actually know what happened, and they're just being silent about it? I'm going to look at that question. Does law enforcement know what happened to Nancy Guthrie? Do they know? Does someone know in law enforcement? Do they know what happened? Yeah, see, I'm getting, yeah, okay. T, we'll say T, is friends with someone either in the department or someone that knows someone in the department. But I'm telling you, there is a backdoor deal that went down because he's scared. That's partly what I'm seeing. Let me get the first one on here. Tiffany, I just added you. Tiffany, you need to turn your mic on.
Out, so I did not hear the very last of what you just said because I think I had a delay.
Oh, okay. So I think there is a 2-second delay, but part of what I was seeing was that T, we'll call him T because I don't want to say his name all over the internet. I already sort of indicated the words in law were associated with this person. And this is what I was being told earlier when I took a look, and I was trying to connect directly with Nancy to see what happened. I just asked her who did this, and she showed me. And I said, why? What was the motive? And I got two different motives. It was a combination of money and bitterness, and feeling less than. Like, for some reason, there may have been a number of statements made in the past to make this individual feel like they weren't accepted in the family, or they weren't acknowledged as important, or as accepted as a loving family member. There was always like some sort of intrigue around why this person was in the family to begin with, founding this person's connection to getting married to the sister. I something like that. I'm not getting the entire story, but that's part of what I was seeing. And then right before you came on, I was asking, does law enforcement know about this? And I get there is someone that is connected to law enforcement, if not law enforcement themselves, where there was some sort of a backdoor deal because this person is scared. They were scared of being deported for some reason. Maybe a statement was made in haste or in anger during a fight with the wife. I don't know. Somebody said something and made him feel like he better watch himself because ICE could be at his door any minute. Something like that. So that was part of it. But also money. Like, I think he felt slighted that he wasn't included or accepted, or he was always an outsider, always an interloper, always, um, some sort of outlander, like he wasn't accepted in the family as the other ones were. And he was always struggling to be part of that family. That's the sense. I mean, I don't know how much of that factors in here, but I was being shown. So, Tiffany, what's your question on this?
I have a million, but I'm
Okay,
going to stick with
let's just
one.
start one at a time. Okay. All right. So
So, was he at the house that night? Was he one of the two people? Not, well, my theory is somebody went in the back door
well,
and
there's
came to
two
the front
people
door
that
and
I saw.
unlocked it.
There's two. If you listen to the earlier part of before you came on, I talked about that there are two men. There are two men that I saw. I saw T and somebody else, a friend, somebody he's paying to do this to help him. So there's two men. I didn't see just one perpetrator. I saw two. That's the
So,
first thing.
well, I know it's to do like him. I've had this gut feeling he had something to do with it this whole time.
Okay.
Was he one of the two individuals that did it, or was he just the one that orchestrated it?
Oh, that's a good question. All right. Let me take a look. And again, I really haven't looked at this until today. I haven't had time because I've been either working or planning on moving. So I'm trying to pack some stuff away here and move stuff over to another side of my room. Let me see. Is T actually involved in the literal part of this kidnapping? Is he involved directly? Oh, he was. Yes. Yes, he was. Um, I think that's how there wasn't really a struggle until the last minute because she knew him, you know. They
Uh-huh.
were talking and then the talking turned into an argument. It was it was almost like he started an argument just to see if she would admit that she treats him less than the others. Something like that. It was angry. It was not a pleasant situation for her. And she just said, look, from the beginning, we felt like there was some sort of weird thing going on here. And I think she was outspoken. I think she said to his face, look, yes, we questioned it when you first came into the family. We questioned this. I don't know what that relationship is, so correct me if I'm wrong. The marriage that he married into. I don't know what the status of that marriage was, but I get that that was the gist of the argument.
Yeah, he's married to Annie, her daughter,
Her sister, right?
Savannah's sister.
Yeah. So, do you know about that relationship? Do you know about that marriage? Because I get that there was always a question. From what I saw this afternoon, I saw that there was some sort of a question as to the validity of the whole thing, the authenticity of that relationship. Like, did he just marry in to marry in? you
I
know?
I don't know, but I can tell you just I'm not a body language expert by any means, but
Yeah.
I looking at Annie makes me feel like she knows something.
Well, I'll look at her in a minute. We can look at that separate. Um, what was your question concerning the two men that I was seeing?
Well, as I said, I feel like one went in the back door and came and unlocked the front door. Um, if
Okay.
if that happened, was T the back door person coming to unlock the front door for the other individual, or did he have a key to get in, or what?
All right. Let me look. Was T at the back door? I believe the answer to that is yes. I think T was backdoor person? And did he have a key? That's the question.
Yeah.
Did he have a key? Oh yeah, he's had a key. He had a key made, actually, I think. He either took his if his wife had a key, it looks like he had a key made somewhere. A copy.
I
Does
believe
that
that.
make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense with what you know about this? I
Mm-hmm.
have not read that. I'm just seeing that just now.
I have been feeling like just me, like I'm not a psychic, but maybe I'm a little intuitive, I guess. Just
Well,
reading
yeah, I
everything.
mean, you don't have to be a psychic to be intuitive.
Um,
You
I was thinking somebody came through the back door and unlocked the front door and everything ensued then, you know?
Well,
And I was thinking him.
I see that he left and then immediately came back through the back. Like, I think he left and then came back.
That's
I think
exactly
he
what I
left,
thought.
parked a little bit. I don't know. It looks like he parked a little bit back or hidden and then walked back up. Walked. But I see he was hidden, like where he was parking.
Hmm.
The other guy was the um he was the insurance factor. He was the one that pretty much was the physical threatening force.
Um, do the police have that guy on their radar?
The second guy?
The one in the
Or
camera footage.
oh, okay. Let me look. Do the police know who this other guy is on the camera? Well, let's clear T for the camera thing, okay?
I don't think it's him on the camera.
Well, we're looking at a psychic looking at it. So let me just see if I can see. Let me see if I agree with that, okay?
Okay.
Um, because that's why people are here, just to see what I would see working the case. So let me just take a look at whether or not T is the person in the camera footage. Because this is not like a Reddit, you know, uh, dialogue that's going on, or like some sort of, where everybody puts their opinions in on the case. This is a psychic, and I'm taking a look at this as a favor for you guys. So that's what's going on, because I do this for a living.
I'm
So,
going to speak for everyone and thank you so much for doing this.
well, I have to, because, and you're welcome. I have to, because it's my way of giving back, right? If I don't do this, I feel weird if I don't give back, like at least once a week or something. Um, so I'm glad to do this. Let me just see. Is T the person in the camera footage with the mask on? Is that T? Uh, I don't think so. And here's what's weird. I think he knows that the person that the other guy will turn on him and turn state's evidence. He knows this person will do this, because I think the guy asked for more money, and then T said, no, that's the deal. I offer you this much and that's all you're getting. And I think there was some sort of an argument where the other guy was saying, no, I'll do it for this instead. And he was trying to negotiate a price. and he was trying to up the price. And I get there was some sort of a disagreement about that. And then the guy said, fine, whatever. And, you have to make sure you pay me like right up front, something like that. But I think he knows that that guy would turn state's evidence like on a dime if his own neck were in a noose for this. And he's scared that that's happening right now.
I
That
hope it
that
is.
that this other guy is feeding information to the authorities about this situation.
I
The
hope
thing
so.
is, let me just see. Here's the problem with this. Somebody is paid off. T has paid somebody off. And it's not this other guy that was working with him, it's somebody in the department. Because I see that she keeps telling me, Nancy keeps saying there was a friend of his, there's a friend who's covering this up for him. So there's either somebody that's adjacent to the police department or law enforcement or FBI or one of the organizations, or there's a good friend that is. But they have somebody in their back pocket. And that's what the problem with this is. That's why everybody's moving so slow. This is going at a snail's pace because I do see on the outskirts of a department there, somebody is being paid to look the other way, to file paperwork in such a way
Hmm.
to protect this guy. He made a deal. And he said, look, I'll give you this much. You look the other way. You make sure this goes away. Let me see who else is requesting here. Well, I'm on this. All right, Michelle, you're on as well. And I have Tiffany and I have Michelle. All right, so Michelle, are you there? You should be there. I added you. Michelle? Okay. She's having microphone difficulties. Anyway, Tiffany, does that sort of answer your question? I think we've got both of these people back on here. All right. Yeah, I can hear you. And Tiffany, are you back on? Tiffany?
I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, kicked me out twice. It's weird.
Well, at least it stayed. I knew that if I had pre-scheduled this afternoon, that we would have gotten knocked off. So that's why I did it right before we started.
Mhm.
Okay, so far from what you've heard,
Mhm.
just from my psychic take on what I'm seeing so far, does this sort of match up with what's going on in the news? I not that the news is accurate, but what you know about the case.
Carla, this is such a bizarre kidnapping case. I don't think it's a kidnapping. I think he just wanted to get rid of her because it's already over 3 weeks and there's no money being exchanged. That's the weirdest kidnapping ever.
I
I don't. I don't get it.
well, I even asked her in the beginning. I said, Nancy, what is I said, were you alive when you were first taken out of that house? And I think something happened in the struggle.
Mhm.
I think there was a struggle And I think, he just, he kept with the plan, the extortion plan. Let's get the money and tell them, you can have her and whatever. And then,
But don't they ask for proof of life before they give money in a
well,
kidnapping case?
normally, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
would if it
of
were
course.
me, but that's, some people are just so afraid that asking anything in that circumstance would cause harm to Nancy, that they didn't want to cause her any harm. They didn't want
But
to
she's
make the
already
situation
Mhm.
worse,
but she's already got a heart condition, and I feel it in my gut that she's not alive. And I
Well,
told my husband this is not going to have a good ending.
I saw that this happened right away though. And I think
Hmm.
that they just played it out. Like they just kept, you know, the chess pieces in play. I don't I think that they just, doubled down on the whole thing and said, "Well, let's still go after the money like she's still alive and we'll just take her." But
That's
here's what I
crazy.
saw. I don't know what kind of cave structures are around there, around that area, but I saw a cave. Okay, so that factors into this somehow.
Hmm. But do you think that T definitely wanted her dead? Because maybe she was the one, since she's the head of the family, saying, he's not good enough for my daughter, or he's not one of us,
Well,
type of thing.
I think she questioned uh, the validity or the
Hmm.
authenticity of that relationship with her other daughter.
Right,
Like, was he in this because he loved her daughter, or was he in this for money? Was he in this to get out of wherever he was before?
right,
And I think in some heated moments, statements were made to make him feel less than, to make him feel like an outsider, that he would never be part of that family, that you will never be one of us, that kind of
right,
thing.
right,
And I think over the years it was chipping away at him.
right.
And I believe that has something to do with this, maybe from what I've seen. I would open it up for major discussions and get all of your theories and everybody else's theories in the
Mhm.
mix here. But it confuses a psychic reading when I invite everyone to give me all their impressions. It's just,
Right, right,
that's why I don't do it. It's not because I don't think you guys have intuition. I know you do. I know you guys have major intuition because you've shown me before. But I when I work on case files, I work alone, and it's not because I'm just, full of hubris and arrogance. It's
mhm,
because I need to work alone, because then I'm not confused about what I see. Then I own my own statements. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
right, right.
And it's not because I'm influenced by someone else's opinion.
Um,
So,
I did have a question about the blood they
yeah,
found on the front, outside the front door. Um,
okay.
was that her blood, or was that the blood of someone else?
All right. So blood, not glove, right?
Yeah,
Blood.
the blood. There were blood droplets on the ground.
All right. Let me see if that was her blood. Nancy, was that your blood on the floor on the porch?
Yes, right by the front door where that camera was, that ring
Okay.
camera.
Let me look. Was that your blood, Nancy? Hmm. Was that your blood? See here, You know what? I think the money was talked about the second they got in there. I think they tried to do this deal with her,
Mm.
and they tried to get her to sign over something. Sign over some sort of property, some sort of documents, some sort of something, get into your bank account and deposit this amount.
So they were
You
trying
know,
to extort. Yeah.
yeah, the thing is that, did they intend for her to live after this? Let me ask. Was the intent to always to keep, let me ask it in a positive way. Was the intent with T to have Nancy still alive at the end? No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Witness.
No.
hmm
Nope. She knew that was it from the second that this started. So
I
she knew.
I knew it. I knew it. He wanted her dead.
Well, he didn't want her dead, like going in the door. It was if she doesn't agree, it was when she would be dead.
Right.
It was God. I apologize to Savannah and the family for how I just said that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. Oh, it's a
Yeah, I just
delicate situation.
no, I know, but
Oh.
when I'm working the puzzle pieces here, I'm trying to see what I see,
hmm
and it's hard to be delicate around certain parts of this. So I have to work this like it's a puzzle.
Right.
Um, Part of what I saw was they would keep her alive for a length of time if she agreed to the first part of the money drop
hmm
would be from her. And then they would have her record something to get the rest of the money from Savannah and the family.
The ransom. Yeah.
Yeah. I I feel but I definitely I can hear them arguing about the money, like, opening up like a laptop or some sort of, and like saying, get into your bank account right now. If you want to live to see another day, this is what's going to happen. And I think she knew that she wouldn't make it out alive because, she could identify them.
Exactly.
So, she already knew she was dead at that point.
Wow.
So she said no. She said no.
And she had a
And
very bad heart condition, so without her medication, either
well,
way.
let me look at that and see if that played in here. Let me
hmm
look at her heart condition.
Right.
Nancy, your heart condition, was that the final? Is that what finally took you to the other side? Was it your heart condition? No,
Wow.
no, it wasn't. Um,
Mm-mm.
I get lack of oxygen, so asphyxiation,
Wow.
but I do get a head injury because she fought and they struggled and she slipped on something.
I
She
feel so
slipped.
bad for her family. Mm.
I mean, money is the root of, as you know.
hmm
So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I just see that she lost her footing for a second and she hit her head.
Wow.
I see a head injury,
hmm
but asphyxiation is what I'm getting.
So then maybe that was her blood when maybe they carried her out the front door? Because there were droplets on the ground. It's so weird.
Well, I also get not, I don't think it was T. It could have been T, but I get that it was, for some reason, I'm being pointed towards the other guy that was sort of the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other guy.
Wow.
I think he got cut on something.
Wow.
That could have been her fighting back. She could have grabbed a knife or say, I mean,
Right.
I don't know,
Or
but
scratch.
I just see,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw he got cut somehow. She defended herself for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Let me just see. Is that blood the other guy? The guy in the camera. Yeah, see, I see her in power. Like she did not, she said, if I'm gonna go out, I'm going out fighting. And that's how she fought immediately. Like she was not going out quietly.
Right. Wow.
And I think T had also, his idea was, well, we'll let her live longer, the longer she helps us obtain this amount of money. But she knew that at the end of it,
Mm-hmm.
it would be pointless, to keep her alive. She knew.
Oh,
She knew.
thank you,
And this
Carla.
was all about money and feeling belittled
Mm-hmm.
by the family over a number of years. I get that this was something that developed over time. It wasn't something that happened last week,
Right.
It was something that developed over time.
Wow. Such an interesting
You know,
case. It's crazy.
I think that I keep getting pointed towards the other guy though with that blood. Like
Mhm.
I see he got cut or something, and it may have been, you know,
Wow.
in the struggle too. Like he tried to grab her, and then he got cut on something.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
She was sharp-minded. She was, medically, she had her issues, but she was a tough lady. I hear feisty.
Oh, there's no way she was going out without a fight. I mean,
Right.
that woman
Mm-hmm.
said, "Okay, if I'm going out, I'm going to go down fighting," and that's what she did.
Wow.
But I think the plan was always that she would not make it out of there alive,
Mm-hmm.
but let's keep her alive as long as she's helpful to us
Right.
in our pursuit of as much money as we can obtain.
Oh, I have a
And
feeling
I
this
think that,
case is not going to last too much longer.
well, that's something else I can look at. I can look at maybe a resolution to the case and like seeing,
Yes, 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 yes.
okay, is that Tiffany?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my next question. If day 20, like, is the resolution soon?
Okay. So ask the question again.
Will this case come to an end soon?
Okay. Will this case be resolved soon?
Yes.
Nancy Guthrie, is this case going to resolve soon? Are we going to know? Are we going to solve this case? Are we going to find you? I still think it's going to go maybe a little longer into, okay, it's showing me two different time frames between the month of May to July.
Oh my gosh.
It could take that long before they resolve all the ins and outs.
I just
and
feel bad
No
for
there
the
is-
way.
family. Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, getting that it's going to take a little longer for all these pieces because they covered it up pretty well.
Wow.
You know, and remember from what I saw earlier that somebody's being paid off somewhere on the outskirts of the department. Somebody T has a friend in the department, or he has a friend of a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I'm telling you, there's a payoff going on there because I saw the money exchange.
Wow.
Is it the sheriff?
I do not know yet. I have to look. I don't. That's the thing when you do psychic reads like this. I get breadcrumbs about it. I get like little details, and then I have to go back in and look around it to see who it is. You know, everybody has this misconception that I get names and phone numbers and addresses. It doesn't work that way, guys. It's like I get details. I'll see a scene in front of me, and then I have to piece it together to make sense in the context of whatever that particular case is. So, okay. So who asked that question? Tiffany?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you ask the question about the sheriff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So ask it again.
Is the sheriff being paid off?
All right. Let me look. And do we have a name for this guy?
Chris
Just
Nanos.
okay. Let me look at Chris Nanos. Is he the one that's being paid off that I'm seeing in the department? Wow, that's very, very interesting. That came up with a strong yes right off the top. So, well, that's disappointing. I mean, I just, you know, what kind of world are we living in? But there's a friend of a friend. She kept showing me. She said he's friends with people in the department, like he's paid people to look the other way, to keep quiet, to move paperwork around, to protect him. Wow.
I knew it.
Wow.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Carla, this is Michelle.
Don't come after me now. You know, but look, you know, I did this for how many years on television worldwide, and you know what? If they've got a problem with it, then they've got a problem with it. But I'm a psychic, and they always put us down and make us feel like, you know, oh, well, they're just a psychic, so they can't possibly be real. And
No,
it's just,
ma'am. You are the real deal.
Definitely. I
I try.
second that.
Well, I do this every day of my life. So I wake up doing it, I go to bed doing it, and I've worked that many cases. There's a reason I'm called in on certain big cases. It's because not because I solve them. It's because I give them another angle, another perspective that they weren't able to see before.
Right.
So that's what I do. I don't pretend that I'm going to be the you know the super girl that's going to solve the case and everybody move out of my way while I solve this case. I don't pretend to be that.
Mm-mm.
But I know that I can piece it together. The pieces they can't see, I can see.
Right.
And it sounds like you guys knew about some of this. I didn't know about any of these players until I looked at it. I didn't. Or otherwise I would have posted about it before this afternoon. I did post and I said, and I'm seeing the words in-law
Mm-hmm.
in my head. In-law, she showed me.
I have
Carla.
thought this the entire time.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
have a question, Carla. Will they be found out and found guilty at the end of the case when it's finally resolved? Will T
Let me
and the
look.
sheriff be found guilty?
Let me see. Well, they're trying to go with no body, no crime.
Wow.
So they're trying to go with that. But I'm telling you, I see a cave.
Hmm.
I see a cave. I don't see that on every. When's the last time I told you I saw a cave on a case?
Never.
I see a cave. I don't know what kind of cave structures are around that area,
Hmm.
but that's what I see.
I can't think of the name of them off the top of my head, but there are.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying go out there yourselves, please. No,
I
don't.
would love to go back to Arizona, but I'm not going for that. No.
Please do not. Part of, but I asked her, I said, where are you? Because I looked to see if, perhaps, the first choice of many of these people are, they have to have quick access to where they dump the body.
Hmm.
And I said that with no sensitivity whatsoever. I am sorry. I didn't mean that. But that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a quick dump the body and get out, and nobody knows the wiser,
Right.
So I see that he thought about that, but then he thought about the dogs. They'll bring sniffers around
Right.
and the dogs will pick up the scent. So he did think about like his property
Mm.
and maybe doing it there, but then he's like, no, better not. So that was a thought in the beginning, but then changed to a cave. And I'm not seeing exactly where she is, but I am seeing this cave.
Hmm.
I mean, I would have to get in there and see. Let me see what else is around it. This cave looks like this particular entrance to this cave. The one clue is that it's very narrow in the entrance of the cave,
Hmm.
very narrow,
Wow.
and then it opens up into like cavernous type
Right.
rooms cave. But it looks like the actual entrance where they went in was very narrow. So I don't know, I have no idea, but that's what I'm seeing. And
Is that close to
they
her house?
the cave.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, so maybe I'll look in my mind and see if I see like a direction on a map, like a compass. Nancy, north, south, east, west of your home. Where is the cave? Where are you? The front of her house, does the front face like in a southerly direction? Do we know? Do we know any of this? Can
No.
somebody go look while we're on here?
In America, feeling
Hang on.
Is that Rick?
Yes,
Some,
I'm sorry. That was him. I was trying to shut my
all right.
mic off.
Okay. Can somebody go look to see what direction the front of the house faces? Because I definitely get that it's like the direction of the back of the house. The back, like that direction. Possibly north. Let's find out if the front of the house is southerly direction, like in a south facing direction. Um, because I get that it's possibly north and a little west, like a northwest direction from the house itself. If we put her house, let me see how far. Okay. Is there a foothill near the caves? That's the other question I have because I'm hearing the word foothill. So that's the other thing. I'm hearing the term foothill. I'm also seeing,
She's in the Catalina foothills.
is that a name of a real place?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Tiffany?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Tiffany, talk to me about where. So,
I've heard
did
the
you just look that?
I've heard the Catalina foothills being close to there this whole 20 days now. I don't know
First
a
of all,
thing about
I
them.
don't even know about this case, and I heard the word foothill.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I know nothing about this case. Nothing. Except there was an in-law, and she told me 3 times, and she's so disappointed in him that he would do this for money and bitterness, all because of a few statements and because he felt less than. I don't know. I don't know, but I heard the word foothill. I mean, you heard me do it live. I didn't have any idea. I don't even know if there are any foothills near there.
Yeah, I'm like sitting here on the map trying to zoom in and see if I can see road names.
See if you can see the front of her house. Like, what direction does it face? If somebody can get us that information, what direction does the front of Nancy's house get us that info while we're on?
Escalante. I can't think of the name of the road.
Well, let me get somebody else on here while you work on that, Tiffany. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get Miss Delaney on here. Hey, I added you, Delaney. You got to turn your mic on. I added you, Delaney. You got to give the mic permission to talk. Apparently, that's how it works. All right. Well, I added you. If you need to come back on again, just send me another request. But you have to give permission to the mic to speak. I just added you, though. Well, this is all interesting. I mean, this is all new to me because I don't really know the players in this case. I don't know. All right, hold on. Delaney, are you back? Okay, I added. And hopefully she gets on. Delaney, are you there?
Oh, hey, you cut out, so I didn't know you were talking to me.
I was talking to you the whole
Oh,
time.
shoot. Okay, well, now we're good.
Anyway, all
So
right.
I was Googling all this time, and there are, let's see if I can get rid of your screen so I can see my screen.
Okay. So let's backtrack to what we had said before. So, all right. So this is about what I had just said when I heard the word foothills, because I had no idea that if that even connects to this area where she is.
Exactly. So I was looking to see if there were caves in the foothills, the Catalina foothills.
Okay.
And it said most notably the Colossal Cave Mountain Park, located 23.5 miles of mapped passageways. And then the Karchner Caverns State Park are in the surrounding region. So you're totally, you got it. I mean, there are caves all over in there.
Okay, because is this actually in Tucson proper? Like actually in Tucson?
Well, it said 22 miles southeast of Tucson.
No, but where she lived.
Oh, That
You're
I
a
don't
New
know.
Zealand.
I don't know any more than you do about all of this.
I've never, I mean, I have clients that live there, but I've
Hmm.
never been
She
to New
lives right at the Catalina foothills.
Okay. So I heard the word. Okay. So here's how my ability works. I hear words above my head, and some people are institutionalized for that very reason. But I hear certain words, and I know they're not my words. And I heard the word foothills or foothill, singular. I don't know what that means, how that connects. I saw this afternoon a cave. I saw a cave structure. So I don't know exactly where these caves are in position to her home, but I am seeing that it's it was sort of the second choice. I see this guy's name and we're calling him T. We've been calling him T from the beginning. But I heard this afternoon in-law. That's what she showed me 3 times. She said, this is who did it. He was cleared. He has a friend of a friend. It showed me friend of a friend in the department. So on the outskirts of the department, somebody got to somebody. So it said friend of a friend. So maybe the friend of T is a friend of the sheriff, friend of a friend.
Um,
Because I too.
I think it has to be, especially if the friend of T left blood on the doorstep, then they have his DNA, and so he would definitely have to be friends of the sheriff's department, um, to avoid being
Friend of a
named.
friend.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just telling you how it worked on my end, and as I was looking at the case,
Yeah.
it was really the first time. I try to look at these fresh, and I try not to go in with preconceived notions of what I have either seen trending on Twitter or whatever. I really didn't have time. I've mostly just seen her name, and I've seen Savannah's name, but I haven't really looked at like who do they think it is, or but she said the word in-law, and then I said, are you sure it's in-law? And then she confirmed in-law. Then I heard um, he's bitter. He feels like, I just think he wasn't accepted in that family unit from day one. I think they had a raised eyebrow on him the whole time before he got married to the sister, right? Is it the sister of Savannah? I think so. Yeah.
Savannah's
So,
sister, yes.
and what's her name?
Annie.
First name? Annie.
Hmm.
Okay. So I think they raised an eyebrow from day one on that because I feel like a statement was made like, hey, we're going to deport you, or, why don't you just go back to where you came from, or, in some sort of heated argument one day. I just see stupid words were said that nobody meant, but he took them to heart, and he over time became bitter. So that's who I think did it. So I'm just going to say his name begins with a T, and we all know who it is. Okay. And I honestly think that he had always planned that she would not be around, but I think he wanted to use her to help extort as much money as possible. Keep her alive as long as she's helpful, as long as she makes videos for us and asks for more money, pleads with the family for more money, and let's see how much we can get. And I think it was that sort of scenario. I see this fight though. I see them arguing, and I see a laptop, and I see that the first amount was supposed to come directly from her, like the down payment on something. And then from there, they would look at the other accounts, and they would go to Savannah or other family members and see what they could extort on that end. But part of what I saw was she was having none of it. Is she alive? I always know if they're alive or they're not. And I'm just going to make the statement. I just didn't feel it from the second I started looking at it. You know, that they have a different feel in my head when they've crossed over. You know, it's lighter. It's not as heavy. You know, it's not a gravitational pull. You know, it's a lighter feeling, and I can tell she's out of her body. I can tell her spirit has crossed. But I think, you know, the what's been consistent is that it's about money. It's about money and greed and feeling less than, and like, well, I need my payday now. And you know, I think it was just a long game for this guy. I think it was a long game, and I think they were right to raise an eyebrow from day one on him. Did they clear him? Sure they did, because somebody's paid off. I see a payoff, like first thing that was the first thing that happened, was that payoff. And we're paying you to look the other way, and we're paying you to you know, forge some documents, and you know, make some situations go away. And you know, it's turned into this, and that's why everything is going so slow, is what I'm getting. Delaney, did you have another question?
No, I'm good. I just wanted to tell you what I found on the internet about caves and foothills in Tucson.
Well, I heard the word foothill, and then I also heard and I saw a cave structure. So when you looked, could you tell like where the front of the house was, her house? Was it facing which direction? Was it facing south or north?
The internet just said we don't have any information compass wise on the direction of the house. That's all I could find.
Because when I look at her house, I'm looking at the back of her house, and I'm looking northwest from the back of her house. So I don't know if caves are there. So maybe while you're in there snooping around, maybe
Yeah.
you could before I end this whole thing. But that's kind of what I'm being shown.
Okay, I'll look.
It's not that far away. He did consider his own property, but then he thought about the dogs coming in and possibly sniffing.
Yeah.
And he scrapped that idea right away. But I do see the payoff. That I can tell you for absolutely, I'm certain of the payoff. Certain. She told me she saw friend of a friend, and then the department. So it was like 1, 2, 3, friend of a friend. Something's going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just seeing what I see. And since I do this every day, I can't say that I am, you know, what percentage of accuracy I have, but I am highly accurate, you know, with a lot of people. So, you know, let's just give it the benefit of the doubt, shall we?
Absolutely.
But how is this sounding so far to you? Like, you were listening from pretty much the beginning. So the things that I've come up with from this afternoon to now.
It all makes total sense, and all the little pieces are fitting together, and I'm just sad that it will take till May or July or, for so long to figure it out.
Well, let me look at that again. Let me look again. When will the first part of this resolution happen with this case? When? See, there's the sheriff. Okay. All right. So I'm being shown the guy in charge. Okay. And I'm seeing something like he's actually stonewalling the case. Like he's stopping certain investigative tools from going fast. Like he's slowing it down, actually putting the brakes on certain parts of it. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the brakes being put on certain parts of the investigation. Like he's like, oh, let's hold off on that for like just a little while. And let me
Carla. Yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm seeing.
He did it to the
Let me see.
FBI, Carla.
That what?
He did that to the FBI.
Oh, Tiffany. Hey. Okay. So I don't know any of these players. I don't know any of these people, but today's the first time I'm hearing these names. I didn't even know this guy's name until you told me, Tiffany. Part of what I'm seeing is that he's disgruntled. Like they either cut his pay or something happened with his department where he got budget cuts or something happened where he thinks he's owed this, and he's just looking the other way. He's owed this. He's put in his time, he's put in his service, so he is owed this. Tiffany, what do you think about that?
I think you're accurate. I believe you're accurate.
Well, the player. You're the one who told me his name.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm. And I've had this gut feeling about him. He doesn't move right. If you have,
none of these do. I mean, Jesus, you can't even live in your house.
you have the FBI there to assist you and can have DNA back 24 hours, and you want to send it somewhere else that'll take a week or whatever.
So that's what I just saw with
Yep.
he put brakes on. Okay, so that's what that means. Okay. But I'm all right. Let me look at the first window. When is the first window that this case could resolve and we see evidence of what we're seeing here today in this case actually coming to a close and some sort of resolution for everybody? Okay, there we are. The sister's name, Annie, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. She knows something, or she found something, or she stumbles upon something. She knows something. Let me look here. Let's see what this girl's doing. Yeah, she finds a message or he hears him, like either goes through his phone or something. She knows something. She went through his phone or like his messages or something, and she knew something, and she knew what it meant, and she's just been quiet about it. Does that make sense? with what you know?
Well, it's what I felt.
Well, like, sorry, what you knew. If you knew it, you would have gone to the FBI. So part of what I'm seeing is that she knows something, and she might be coerced into, they might threaten her with accessory after the fact. They might threaten her to get the information. She knows something. I don't know what it is exactly. I can see she's sitting on something, though. She's sitting on some information.
You know how I said earlier that I'm not a body language expert or anything like that, but in
Yeah.
interviews, you can read her easily. She,
What does she look like? Does she look like she's a little jaundiced? Like um
well,
she's not healthy? Because I'm seeing that she's not healthy inside.
I'm not sure about her health, but she looks a little crazy.
Like thin, like jaundiced, like thin, like her face is like there's some collapse of muscle tone there or something. Like a person that would have done drugs maybe 20 years ago or something, where later on their face looks like it's sunken, like a sunken look to the face. Does she look like that?
Well, that's kind of what Savannah looks like right now.
Well, I don't think it's her, though. I think she has suspicions, but I don't think it's her. I don't think it's her. I think she's afraid to do anything in case she's next.
Yeah, I get that.
I think she's afraid. I think she's afraid to make any move or make any statements other than we'll pay the money. It's so, that's why she's in a hurry to pay the money, because she thinks she might be next. What kind of protection are they affording her?
Hmm.
I think the family is not getting a lot of answers from law enforcement either, mainly because of this backdoor deal that I'm seeing where this payoff happened. I saw that this afternoon. I saw this payoff, a friend of a friend, and then I see law enforcement. I saw it in that order. That's what Nancy said. She said it was a friend of a friend and then something. So I don't know. I don't know. It's bothering me, though, and now I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight until very late because I'm going to be sitting here thinking about this. Damn these cases.
Hmm.
I can't. This is how I get wound up and then I can't go to sleep. That's why I try not to do these.
20 days. I've lost a lot of sleep in 20 days.
Wow.
Carla, this is Michelle.
Yeah.
I just realized too, the police cleared the family. So where does it leave this case now? Because
But
T is part of the family.
the FBI didn't know.
So you still think they may catch them?
I think so.
If
I
you
hope
go
so.
read my post from this afternoon. I said
Hmm.
Nancy said they cleared who this is, and they're the one. This guy is the one who did it.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
And then, right after she said that to me, she said the word in-law.
Hmm.
She said, and I couldn't hear what the first word was, so I looked to see who's an in-law in this story
Wow.
because I didn't even know the names of the players.
Right.
I just knew Savannah's name because of the Today Show. So I just knew her name and Annie, and not Annie's name, but Nancy's name.
Right.
Those two names. That's it. That's all I knew. Um, but I heard the name or the term in-law.
Right.
Then I said, where are you? And then she showed me a cave.
Wow.
A cave.
This is going to be the
And
case to follow, I tell you.
Tonight, while I've been talking, I heard the word foothill.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that plays in, or
And I about fell out of my seat when you said that.
wow. Hmm. Well, I could be insane, or I could be on my game. I don't know. We
Oh,
don't
you're
know
Game
how
is
definitely on your
on,
game.
sister.
Yep,
It's
you're
on.
on your game.
Well, I'm better at these things when I don't know a lot of information, and I kind of go in. That's why I don't offer the platform to you guys to give me all of your impressions. What do you think it is, or who do you think it is, or who do you because it just confuses my work. And again, I work these things alone, and I have to. That's how I've done it all my life. I've never worked in tandem with anybody else, or like on a team of investigators. Like, I always go off by myself, and then I come back to them with what I get. I never work with them and bounce ideas off of them in some sort of a round table situation. That's not how it works with me. I have to go off by myself and get my core idea of what I think happened. And then I build off of that, and I expand off of that into the surrounding area with detail. And then I slow time down, and I can see the detail and that's how this works every single time for me. So I don't change my process of how I get to the information. And this is how I do remote viewing. I've done it I have never gone to a location. I always do it from far away. And I'm better at it when I'm not in front of it. I don't know why. It distracts me when it's in front of me. I'd rather see it in my head so that I can have time to study it, go around it, slow time down, see what's around that surrounding area, see the clues that they're giving me, the little breadcrumbs, and then just give them what I have. And if it works, it works. I don't worry about whether I'm right or I'm wrong. I just worry about whether it helps. And that's the position I take. That's the posturing I take, is that if it helps, good, great. Then it was worth doing. I didn't plan on getting involved in this case on a podcast, but it was, you guys were like writing to me a lot, and I just thought, well, I guess I better get in there. So I apologize to Savannah and the family if I'm saying things in a non-sensitive way. I tend to work, crime scenes and missing persons cases as a puzzle, and I'm solving that puzzle, and that's how I work. It's easier this way, and then we can take care of everybody and how they're going to get through later. But let's get to solving the thing first. But these are the details that I've seen so far. Is there anything that I've said so far in today's podcast where it sounded really off? I mean, I've said a lot of information in this thing. I mean, I am going to say that word T because I think that's who it is. I triple checked here, and that's who I think it is.
No, I don't think you're off about anything, honestly. I really don't.
There was not one time that I said something that you go, oh, that girl's losing it.
Nope,
She's
not
just,
once.
No, everything makes sense, Carla. You are right on the money.
Okay. I hope, because I'm pretty wound up right now. So that tells me that
You are
I'm
on the
on
right
some,
track.
yeah,
You really
I'm
are.
on some sort of trail because my head is spinning right now. Like I can't slow down, and it's going to take me a while to wind down.
I just took some for a
Uh,
headache because I got a headache.
yeah, I don't get headaches from this. I get amped up. I get amped up like somebody like plugged me into something, and like the currents that are going through my head right now, I can't slow down. So it's going to take me a while. Um, I All right. So does anybody else have a question about just any part of this investigation? Something that I haven't covered tonight? Something that you wanted to add? Something that's bothering you about the case other than the fact that she's missing, and this is kind of a tragic thing. But
Carla, it's Michelle again.
yeah.
Will the FBI figure out what's going on with this case?
Versus the sheriff's department.
Right, because the sheriff is the one that
Well, yeah.
clears them, but not FBI.
Let me look. Now, again, I'm being shown the sister. She's the key. She'll turn.
That's what I was hoping for. Oh, I
She'll
hope
turn.
so.
So as soon as you asked that, I saw the sister, and they're going to hold something over her head. So she either has a record or something, like they're threatening her with something. Like, something, you need to tell us everything you know, or we're going to do this.
I hope she does.
She knows something because I see a message that she came across or information she came across. She knows something, and I see that she knows about the death.
Wow.
Like,
I want Nancy to be at peace. I want this to be taken care of and put to rest. That
well,
poor
not that I'm
family.
an expert on Nancy or anything, but that's who I connected to this afternoon. So when I was just asking her what happened, I didn't get the idea that I think she's just very disillusioned that this happened at all.
Wow.
And I think it was that more than anything, the shock of all of their fears about this person were actually true.
Right.
So
Yep, disassociation.
Yeah.
and I didn't feel like but she will hover around the situation until it's done. I'll tell you that.
Exactly.
I don't. She's not going anywhere. She's right here.
Wow.
And I usually go right to the victim. I know that sounds stupid, but I don't just look to a location. I connect to a soul. And I asked her. I said, "What happened?"
Well, they're the ones the best that'll give you the answer.
Well, I connect to the source if I can.
The source, right?
But honestly, it's I forgot to look at that. Let me just look at the time frame again with when is the first window where we're going to get like some closure here on this case,
Right.
and this will start to unravel, and all of this will come out into the light of day, and we're going to see what happened. What is our first window? Okay. Yeah, again, I don't think we're getting anything until the beginning of May is the first time. this might happen. And then let me see if there's like a closing window. It says once that begins, it shows me a month to 6 weeks after that. So that's why I said July,
Right.
because, and then I think by the time we get to the beginning of July is when all of it is said and done and has unraveled, and we know all the pieces of the puzzle and they're put together, and that whole situation.
Wow.
Tiffany, I put you back on again. You got knocked off. Okay. So I think she was there and then she wasn't there. Okay, I just approved you again. Sometimes when your Wi-Fi is kind of, okay, it says I approved you and now it's okay. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is kind of like weird here. It keeps saying requested, and then I click approve, and let's see if it works. Tiffany, did you get back on? I don't know. Everybody's Wi-Fi is different depending. Honestly, that's the time frame I'm getting there. The first inklings of what's happening looks to be beginning of May, seems to be. Tiffany, I know you keep doing this. Are you back in? No, I don't think she is. Oh, there you are, Tiffany. Tiffany. She needs to put her mic back on. Anyway, part of the time frame is usually I'm shown like the beginning of the window that this can start, and I don't think we're going to get any resolution or any facts coming to light of day until the beginning of May.
Wow.
That's what I'm doing. And it could just be that they're waiting for, the proof of life is actually, no body, no crime is what they're saying.
Right.
But once the body is found.
Wow. Thank you,
Yeah.
Carla, so
Yeah.
much for looking into this. This is the most bizarre case.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to see what I can, hopefully something I said actually made sense here, but it sounds like
A
you
lot of
guys
it.
are,
A lot of it did.
because you guys follow this every day. I don't. I haven't followed the case at all, so I really didn't know what I was looking at. Then I saw the payoff, and I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
When she showed me the friend of a friend, somebody on the outskirts of the department got to somebody, but I'm seeing that the sister Annie, she knows something because I see information next to her, and then I see it's about the death. So she either knows where the body is, because maybe she saw like where they went,
That's crazy.
or he talked about, she said, where did you go? Like, and he came back, like maybe he was all dirty and he said, oh, I went. Maybe she knows that. Maybe she knows where this cave is.
That's, it's so sad that that's her own mother and then her husband's involved. That's terrible.
Well,
Yeah, look,
I am not sure. Tiffany, I kept adding you again. I must have added you like 20 times. So Tiffany, if you're on, say your piece, honey, because I can't add you again. You keep getting knocked off. So if you're here, just say you're here. Anyway, I don't know why the players are doing what they're doing, but I think it's self-preservation at this point. And
I agree.
Tiffany,
Mhm.
Tiffany, I think you're on, but you have to turn on your mic. She needs to turn on her mic. Okay, so Tiffany, I don't know if you can hear me, but that's what you need to do. I think we've covered about everything that we can cover on this part. We might do a part two.
Mhm.
If you guys want a part two on this case, I can do a part two. You know, just comment either here or on YouTube if you guys want a part two, and then we'll dig in more. But this was my first look at this, and so far it's a strong connection that I'm getting. So, you know,
No,
I
you're
seem to be
awesome.
getting a lot of
You're awesome.
information. Thank you. I try. You know, I'm trying. I don't, again, I don't know if any of this is correct, but I don't worry about that when I go in. I just get what I get, the information I get, and then I put it forward, and that's all I can do.
We'll have to wait and see what comes to light as the time goes by, and we'll be able to connect the dots like you did and see if you match
Yeah.
up. And I think you will. Definitely.
Well, it'll be weird how it all pieces together with some of the information that I was coming up with. I mean, I want to see if there is a cave, if there's a foothill involved in this thing, if there is a payoff, if the sheriff is involved, because I saw when Tiffany asked whether sheriff, I can't even remember his name now, Nanos?
Nanos, yeah. The last name.
Okay. She asked me if he was involved, and I got a strong yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then what else did I see? I saw the time frame, and I saw the reason why was money. She kept showing me money and property and bitterness. This person did this because they're bitter about feeling belittled for years, that they were not part of the family, that they weren't as good as the rest of the family, that they were an outsider, an outlander,
That's crazy. Well, if anything comes to light, I'll message you and say, you were right, Carla.
Put it under one of these, put it under threads so that everybody can see what's going on.
Yes, I will.
Sometimes I get a little busy with trying to repost everybody's DMs to me. So I will, I'll schedule another one of these if you guys want a part two. If you come up with more questions or more details of this case come to light, then we'll go ahead and do a part two. Tiffany, thanks for all your help, and Delaney, wherever you are, thank you for looking up what you did. Michelle, as always, and if anybody wants a last minute question in here, just send me a request before I sign off if you want to add something. If there was a question that wasn't asked tonight so far, and then I'll take a look and we'll see what we see. That's all I can do, guys. I know I pretend like I'm a rainmaker over here, and sometimes I am, but I'm very wound up right now, and because of whenever I work on a case file, this is what happens, and this is probably why I was sort of relieved when Haunting Evidence was over, because I spent 4 years nonstop, never smiling, never really having fun, because I was constantly looking at this stuff and wound up. And traveling all over the place. So I felt like I wasn't in control of my own life. It controlled me for a number of years. And so now I'm wound up again. So I will try to relax and just get this up on YouTube and the other ones as soon as I can. And put your comments. I'll put a post up there with your comments, and just let me know what you thought of everything we talked about. But I put what I read this afternoon. I did put that post, and it's under the pin post on here. Thanks, you guys, for coming by the live.
Thank you, Carla.
Thanks for the suggestion on this, and
Mhm.
I will. I'll do a part 2 if you guys want it. It sounds like you do. All right. So hopefully, Nancy, we get to you and we get this solved for you. And that's all there is. All right, you guys. I love you, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Take care. Bye bye.
Good night.